All right, hey, look, it's a new year, 2025. Many people have financial resolutions for this year. We're joined by Northwestern Mutual financial advisor Melissa Gonzalez for some advice on how to tackle your goals, maybe refresh your finances a bit here, Melissa. Some people want to make this the year where they get on track financially. What kind of advice and tips do you have as people are making their plans?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing that comes to mind is to ensure that you have a very clear goal, very clear roadmap, to ensure that they're specific, measurable, and attainable, and then to break down those goals on a micro goals. For example, you can, if your goal is to pay off debt by the end of the year, to ensure that you have a game plan of how much will you pay off by quarter one, by quarter two, and so on. And then the other one is to revisit your budget from last year as to where did your spending go. Ensure that you have a very clear budget this year. And a very simple one to start off on the right foot financially is to increase any type of tax advantage savings or investment accounts like a 401k or Roth IRA, things like that. If you're not already maxing out your contributions in those spaces, it's important to increase those on a yearly basis, automatically every year, January. And that is a small step that you can take that can have a very long impact.
You talked about the quarters, and I wanted to ask, how far out should we be planning? Do you have to sit down and go, oh my gosh, I got to plan this all out for 2025. I've got a vacation at the end of the year, or do you do it in smaller increments?
That's a great question. I recommend to look at it for the entire year.
Okay.
So, and the reason being is if you already know that you have a big vacation coming up, perhaps you need to buy a car in the middle of the year, or there's a wedding coming up in a few months. That way you can look at your income, look at other revenue streams. Perhaps you have a tax refund coming in, maybe you have overtime, or you have a bonus coming in at a certain part of the year. Identifying where you're going to allocate those dollars will actually help you make decisions throughout the year a lot easier.
There may be someone at home watching and says, look, I racked up probably more than I should have on the credit card over the holidays here, and I know that bill's coming. What kind of advice do you have for maybe people that went a little too deep with the finances over the holidays?
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. So one piece of advice for credit card debt is to understand just how much debt you actually have, understand the interest rates involved there. And once you understand that, then pay off those higher interest credit cards first, and then the other cards, assuming you have multiple, pay the minimum payments on those. But it's important to ensure that you have at least 1 month of expenses in a savings, so you're prepared for any unexpected expenses that can occur, and then that way we can avoid swiping the credit card again.
Yeah, good point. And then our kids, maybe not the younger kids, but our younger adults, maybe some of them are still living at home. They need to learn about how to, organize the finances at a younger age, right?
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that we always tell our clients is to make conversations about money normal. Normalize the conversations about money.
Because when I was growing up, that era wasn't discussed maybe as much as it should have been.
Yeah, exactly. So you can incorporate a conversation. If they are younger kids, you can say something to your child about, hey, we have this vacation planned in the summertime, and I'm choosing now to not pay or not buy this coffee that cost me $5 or $6 because I'd rather allocate those $5 towards our trip to XYZ in the summer.
Or we're not going to go out maybe as much to eat because we're trying to save some money in the long term.
Exactly. They understand and they listen to a lot more than we think.
I bet they do.
Yep.
Yeah. If people want to learn more about your services you provide, Northwestern Mutual, can they reach out to you?
Yes, absolutely. My direct website is melissagonzalez.nm.com.
Okay, get those finances in order, right? Because you're going to have a much better 2025. You're going to feel better. Maybe even be in a better mood. Finances do that, don't they?
They do.
Help relationships as well. Melissa, thanks so much. Really appreciate you coming in, sharing your advice. Stay with us, everyone. Taking a quick break. We'll be right back.